LeBron James about to experience the most shocking betrayal of his legendary career? And could the Lakers really be preparing to trade the king himself to fully commit to their Luka Doncic era? The unthinkable might actually be happening in Los Angeles. After 7 seasons of LeBron James carrying the Lakers franchise back to championship relevance, the organization appears ready to make one of the most controversial decisions in NBA history, trading away a player who's still performing at an elite level to build around their newest superstar acquisition. Grant Hughes from Bleacher Report has sent shockwaves through the basketball world with his prediction that LeBron will be traded during the 2025-26 season. And his reasoning is both compelling and heartbreaking for Lakers fans who've watched James sacrifice everything for this franchise. Let's examine the brutal reality of what's happening here. The Lakers' acquisition of Luka Doncic has fundamentally shifted the power dynamics within the organization. For the first time in his career, LeBron James is no longer the most valuable asset on his own team, and that psychological shift could prove impossible for the king to accept. Think about James's entire career trajectory. He's never been anyone's second option, never accepted a diminished role, and certainly never been viewed as expendable by his own organization. At 40 years old, despite putting up numbers that would make players half his age jealous, he's suddenly finding himself in unprecedented territory where his future is uncertain. The statistics tell a story that makes this potential trade even more shocking. LeBron participated in 70 games last season, averaging 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds, while shooting an incredible 51.3% from the field. These aren't the numbers of a declining veteran. They're the statistics of a player who's still performing at an All-NBA level at an age when most players are long retired. But here's where the organizational psychology becomes fascinating and cruel. The Lakers' refusal to offer James an extension this offseason speaks volumes about how they view his future value versus Doncic's potential. They're essentially telling a 4-time champion and future Hall of Famer that he's no longer worth long-term investment, despite his continued excellence on the court. The Western Conference's competitive landscape adds another layer of complexity to this situation. Hughes correctly points out that the West is absolutely loaded with talent, making championship runs extremely difficult for any team that isn't perfectly constructed. The Lakers appear to believe that their best path to sustained success runs through Doncic's prime years, not through James's final seasons. From James's perspective, this has to be incredibly difficult to process. He came to Los Angeles specifically to chase championships and build a lasting legacy with one of the NBA's most iconic franchises. The idea that they're now ready to move on from him while he's still performing at an elite level represents a professional betrayal that few superstars have ever experienced. The timing of this potential trade creates even more dramatic tension. James will turn 41 in December, making this likely his final opportunity to compete for championships at the highest level. If the Lakers trade him mid-season, they'd essentially be telling him to find success elsewhere during what might be his last realistic title window. What makes this scenario particularly compelling is how it reflects the ruthless business nature of professional sports. The Lakers aren't making this decision because James has declined dramatically or become a locker room problem. They're making it because they believe Doncic represents a better long-term investment. Regardless of what James has contributed to the franchise, the potential trade return for James could actually help the Lakers accelerate their rebuild around Doncic. Acquiring young talent like Caleb Martin and additional assets would provide the kind of depth and flexibility that championship teams require. From a pure basketball perspective, trading an aging superstar for multiple pieces that could contribute 4 years makes strategic sense. However, the emotional and public relations aspects of such a move would be absolutely devastating for the Lakers organization. Trading LeBron James, a player who brought them a championship and maintained elite performance into his 40s, would create a public relations nightmare and potentially damage their ability to attract future superstars. The league-wide implications would be enormous as well. Whatever team acquires James would instantly become a championship contender, while the Lakers would be betting their entire future on their ability to build a championship-caliber roster around Doncic quickly enough to maximize his prime years. For James personally, this could represent either a devastating career conclusion or an opportunity for one final championship run with a franchise that truly values his contributions. At his age and with his accomplishments, He's earned the right to compete for titles with an organization that sees him as essential rather than expendable. The irony of this situation cannot be ignored. The Lakers are potentially trading away a player who's still performing at an all-star level to build around a player they hope will eventually reach that same level of sustained excellence. They're gambling on future potential over proven current production. Whether this trade actually materializes will depend on numerous factors, including James's willingness to waive his no-trade clause and the Lakers' ability to find a deal that truly accelerates their championship timeline. But the mere fact that such discussions are happening represents a seismic shift in NBA power dynamics. What do you think about this potential blockbuster move? Should the Lakers really trade LeBron James while he's still playing at an elite level? Or would this be organizational malpractice of the highest order? Let us know your thoughts on whether the King deserves better treatment after everything he's given to this franchise. And don't forget to hit that like button if you think this could be the most controversial trade in NBA history.